Years ago, back when I was living in, I don't want to say exactly where, but it was on the mainland of the United States of America. I attended a church service. The church service was led by a pastor. The pastor was an actress. The actress had had a starring role in I guess you would call it a series. And the series was about, in the series she played an angel. And if I may be permitted to, I will say that the name of the series was Touched by an Angel. So the actress who was the star of that show, whose name I do not have the permission to use, but you can look it up. She was leading this church service. And I attended the church service, and it was full of celebration and energy and joyfulness and all the rest of it. It was quite a show. And afterwards people broke up for a Bible study. Now, I hadn't been aware that people in the community knew anything about me. I thought I was just quietly living my life, but apparently word had gotten around. I entered the room wherein the Bible study was occurring. There were people sitting around a long kind of, I guess you would call it an office table, but it was very long kind of office table. And at one end there was a person who was, I guess, the leader, maybe a deacon, I'm not sure. Some person higher up on the hierarchy. And, I was greeted with these words: Satan, Satan, Satan. When I walked in the room. So apparently, people within the community knew something about, or thought they knew something about me, before I even met them. A clear sign that people have been talking about me behind my back. And that's okay. But the point is, when they said Satan, 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 what they were really saying to me is outsider, outsider, outsider. Because everything with regards to their pessimistic myths is a projection of a truth about a certain set of living arrangements. The certain set of living arrangements existed when the true myths were made, and when their words were written down in their set of sacred scrolls. And the certain set of living arrangements were a tyrant of some kind ruled over domestic territories. So a long, long time ago, a few people concentrated wealth, income, and power in their own hands, and a few people ruled over territories. Success attracted competition. The concentration of wealth, income, and power into the hands of the few people made the competition to rule homicidal, genocidal, and suicidal at times. And for that reason, the few people became a few paranoid, oppressive, violent people. The few paranoid, oppressive, violent people had special needs and aspirations. Their special needs and aspirations were achieve and maintain authority, power, order, and control. And so what did they do? They gained influence over religious authority figures. And religious authority figures gained influence over communities of faithful believers, and all together they agreed that a good entity rules in heaven, and that the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people are representatives of this good entity. The few paranoid, oppressive, violent people are divinely ordained to rule over domestic territories, and the will of the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people is, in fact, the will of the good entity. They further agreed an evil entity rules over the earth. The outsiders rule over foreign territories. The outsiders are representatives of the evil entity. The outsiders are not divinely ordained to rule over the earth. And the will of the outsiders is in fact the will of the evil entity. So when they said to me, Satan, 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 when I entered the room, that's, looking back on it now, I realize what they were saying to me was outsider, outsider, outsider. And then they thought they were going to be big, they were going to be big, try to help me and sign me up with different programs that could, help me out because I'm low income and I'm disabled. That's what they knew me to be. Low income and disabled. And what is my disability? My disability is I was and am diagnosed as permanently disabled with HIV/AIDS. That was my disability. I guess apparently they all knew about it in the wider community. And I used to live in a building in this particular city, which was basically an entertainment capital in the part of an entertainment capital in the west coast of the United States. I used to live in a building that was occupied by people who retired from the entertainment industry due to the same illness that I suffered from. It was a very nice building with some not so very happy people living in it. Getting back to the story about the touched by the angel star and her underlings greeting me as Satan, 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 and then offering me, let's hook you up with this program and hook you up with that program and all the rest of it, trying to get me hooked up to different things. I was polite. I didn't try to shine a light on any of their lies, that their, values. I didn't try to explain to them that their values are not aligned with our common needs and aspirations to achieve and maintain happiness, good health, and prosperity. I didn't tell them that pessimism correlates with unhappiness, disease, and hardship. I didn't tell them any of that stuff. I didn't say any of that to them. I was polite and I listened. I don't remember all what else happened during the thing, but that stuck out in my mind. Them greeting me by saying, Satan, 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 3 times. Satan 3 times. And this happened to me another time too. It happened to me when I went with my ex-husband to visit his sister on the East Coast. And I met her husband, my brother-in-law at the time. Now he's my ex-brother-in-law. And we were riding in the car together, and he started talking about Satan, 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 you know. Again, outsider, outsider, outsider. What I hear, you know, looking back on it now, that's what I realized they were saying to me. Outsider, outsider, outsider.